Hi guys, welcome to iDrum Mag. We're going to look at a groove really constructed today from listening to a sampled or programmed beat. It's a track I recorded a couple of years ago with a band called Stone Toddler, and the track's called Under the Weather. Really what this looks at as well is communication. So part of being a drummer and being a professional musician is being able to communicate with the musicians around you, particularly writers, when they've written something and they've programmed something and they're trying to get this, their idea across to you. How you best interpret that to make it really work for you, for the music, and for the person that's written it. So when Chris presented me with this, it was quite obvious. It was very intentional. There were kind of hard pan left and right, and something going off in the center as well. And the first thing I thought of was, I think I'm going to need 3 hi-hats for this, or how am I going to kind of approach it? So what I did was I took the demo and I took it home and listened to it and thought, how can I kind of put it back together in a way that I can record it and get the same thing across in an acoustic situation. Get that same kind of panning effect, and also be able to play it live and still get that across with the sonics, because they had very different sounds. So the other thing is sound here, and choosing the right kind of sound for the job. Now, as you might have noticed, I've got nothing here apart from bass drum, snare drum, and 3 hi-hats. And apart from a crash, this is pretty much how we recorded it. The 3 hi-hats are very different. I needed a very dry sound for my left foot. The left foot basically just plays the quarter notes. It's about 180 BPM, the tempo. Just played the quarter notes. So we've got this on the left foot. So a very dry sound, and one that just cuts through everything and kind of gets really kind of holds the whole thing down. Hi-hat over here, and they're not as dry, but they're quite a dark set of hats. These are the Volt Fierce hats, and these are the Volt Artisan hats, Sabian. So quite a dark sound. I've got them quite tightly closed. The rhythm that I'm playing with these hats is quite literally the 2 and 3 and. So we've got 1, 1. And it works quite nicely with this. I'll play those 2 rhythms together. So you can see how the groove kind of starts to form and formulate itself. The hats in the middle here, I was recreating quite a harsh, bright sound, but a very small and tight sound. These are just 10-inch prototype hats from Sabian. They're based on the groove hats. They're very loud though. And the part for this hat, okay, goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. I was playing it slightly differently then. I was missing out the 4 and sometimes. If I put that against our quarter note hat, okay, we've got this. Now, I'm accenting all of the hats, apart from the 4 and in the second bar, and it gives it quite a good sound cutting against everything. When I put that hat pattern together, okay, this is what we have. When you're recreating any kind of sampled or programmed beat, repetition is the key to anything anyway, practice-wise. But particularly this, when you put it in this context, because everything needs to sound the same each time. So this couldn't be played with my hi-hat foot sounding different. We couldn't do that. It wouldn't work unless you were to do it in exactly the same place each time. The same with this. If this isn't sounding the same, if it sounded like this, for example, and then it wouldn't work. You'd lose the balance and sense of forward motion with this type of groove. And exactly the same goes for this. If it was all different, I'll try and play it all a bit differently and kind of rough, and you'll hear what I mean. Okay. Doesn't work. There's no sense of continuation with it. Again, I'll play it, but this time I'll play it correctly. Now, it starts to work quite nicely. When we put our snare drum with that, which is just playing backbeats on the 2 and 4, it kind of roots it all down. So what I'll do is I'll start playing the hi-hat pattern, building it up, and then I'll add the snare drum into it, okay? Now I'm going to build that back up again, but I'm going to add the bass drum part in. All of this is on your notation, okay? The bass drum part pretty much just follows the leaning of the groove as you get into it. So let's build it back up again, and off we go. That's adding our bass drum, and again, now you can hear we've got the whole groove and it's kind of cooking, but it's way off tempo because the tempo's up in the kind of 180s, and this still needs to stay the same. So I'm going to start it a bit quicker now, and again, when you're practicing this, it's about control. It's practicing it slowly, making sure you're using the space effectively in between notes and not rushing anything, okay? To really build it and get the control over it that you need to be able to take it up and just play it with repetition and just get it right. So here we go, taking it a bit faster. I'll build it up in the same kind of way, right? And then there's our groove, put together in quite a disciplined fashion, but then it's a programmed beat in the first instance that we're recreating, so it's got to have that kind of regimented discipline about it. Once you've got it, you can take it up as fast as you want. I try and take things a little bit quicker than I'll actually need to play them, so that I know that I've got that extra bit in there. If we take it a bit quicker than that, the other thing that's important is that when you're playing that backbeat with this type of groove, that it's the same each time, volume-wise. So your stroke needs to be the same level of power, so that nothing really sticks out. It's just continuous. I like to do this kind of thing and do it in one take, rather than do a recording and sample a couple of bars, for example, which is a much easier way of doing things. And you are, then you're getting involved with the whole sample thing as well. But I much prefer trying to nail the whole thing as far as the whole track went. So that's exactly what we did for this track. It was just played over and over and over until it was right, with the right sounds, miking and everything else. It's something worth thinking about as drummers, sound, how you create it, how you can take ideas from a songwriter or a band or an artist or whoever it is that you're working with or for, and recreate them and be able to spit them out, but with that kind of uniqueness that we have, and developing that voice. I'll play that groove once more, and then we'll sign out. Now, I've put, they're available for download here is a kind of a play-along version of something similar to the original riff, so that you can just kind of practice it along to. I've also put up a link to YouTube to a video of the actual, to the video of the track Under the Weather, so you can kind of see it and hear it for yourself. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to sign out by saying I hope you've enjoyed this lesson, get a lot out of it. I'm going to play along to the track so you can hear it in context now. Take care, see ya.